You study for hours, read everything twice, and feel ready. But the moment you face the test, your mind goes completely blank. You meet someone, shake hands, smile, and seconds later, their name disappears like smoke, leaving you embarrassed, wondering what's wrong with your memory. You walk into a room, stop, and suddenly forget why you came there, staring into space, frustrated, thinking, "What's happening to me?" If that sounds like you, this video isn't just for you, it's meant for you. Because this is where everything changes. You're not here to learn 5 quick tricks that vanish tomorrow. You're here to build a system that transforms your brain forever. And the best part, you'll not only upgrade your memory, but also improve your English naturally while listening, learning, and feeling every word. Because your brain learns language through emotion, repetition, and focus. And today, you'll use all 3 together for the first time. So stay with me until the end, because if you apply what I'll show you, you'll never forget what truly matters again. Let's begin with the truth about memory, the reason you forget, and how to take back control of your mind today. Most people believe they have a bad memory, but that's not true. What they really have is an untrained, misunderstood, and overloaded one. Your brain is not broken. It's simply waiting for you to understand how it saves and recalls information the right way. Think of your brain as a vast library filled with shelves, books, and endless stories waiting to be properly placed and remembered. Every time you learn something new, a word, a name, a date, you add a book. But without order, it quickly disappears into chaos. That's exactly what happens when you cram for exams or repeat English words without connecting them emotionally or visually in your mind. Your brain receives the information, but without labels, attention, and repetition. It never moves from short-term to long-term memory. Short-term memory is like a whiteboard, temporary, fragile, easily erased by distraction and constant new input from the modern world. Long-term memory is a notebook carved in stone, but to reach it, your brain needs signals, attention, connection, repetition, and emotion. Most people never give those signals. They read once, listen once, or memorize once, expecting miracles that never come. That's why you forget names, words, lessons, and even goals, because your mind never saved them deeply in the first place. Let's make this clear with one simple story that you'll remember forever, because it connects logic with emotion instantly. You're at a small party. Someone smiles and says, "Hi, I'm Jason." You talk, laugh, and move on without thinking much. 5 minutes later, someone asks, "What was his name?" And suddenly your brain goes silent, completely blank, almost embarrassed. Why? Because you heard the name but never processed it. You didn't repeat, imagine, or emotionally link it to anything real. Now imagine meeting him again, but this time you think, "Jason," like Jason Statham, and instantly create an image in your head. You smile, repeat his name, say it again in the conversation, and your brain builds a solid pathway around that simple sound. You've now repeated, visualized, and connected, and next time you see him, you'll remember effortlessly, because memory loves patterns. That's how your brain works. It keeps what you emotionally connect to and deletes what feels meaningless or weakly stored. So don't call yourself forgetful. Call yourself untrained, because from today, we start training your memory like a real skill. Repeat this after me quietly. My memory isn't broken. My system is, and I'm fixing it now. Good. That's the mindset that separates memory masters from the rest. They take control instead of making excuses. Now let's move to step 2, the foundation of all memory power, attention. The invisible gatekeeper between knowing and forgetting. Here's the truth. You can't remember what you never truly noticed, no matter how smart or motivated you think you are. Every day, your brain receives millions of signals, colors, sounds, texts, headlines, voices, videos, faces, all streaming for attention. If your brain tried to remember all of it, you'd go crazy. So it keeps only what you choose to truly focus on. When you focus, the brain says, "This matters." When you don't, it erases the information instantly, like it never existed. You don't have a memory problem. You have an attention problem, a focus that's been scattered by endless distractions and noise. Let me show you with something simple but powerful that you've probably experienced many times in daily life. You take a taxi, pay, and leave quickly while checking your phone, only to realize minutes later, you forgot your bag. You try to recall the car's number, color, or the driver's face, but nothing comes. Your mind gives you only emptiness. Why? Because your eyes saw but didn't look. Your brain never received the signal. Hey, this is important. Save it. Now imagine pausing for 2 seconds before stepping out, noticing the driver's face, and whispering, "White Toyota, 8473. That 2-second attention could have saved everything. Proving that focus is not time, it's intention. When you study or learn English, it's the same. You read, but your thoughts wander to songs, texts, or worries. Then you say, "I studied but forgot." No, you didn't study with attention. And attention is the door to memory. If your mind is not there, your memory won't be there either. It's that brutally simple, yet life-changing when applied. From now on, before you try to memorize anything, stop, breathe, focus for 5 seconds, and repeat it with intention. Say it aloud, hear your voice, feel the word, see it, and connect it. Because 5 seconds of focus beat 5 hours of noise. Never forget this line. You can't save a file you never opened. It's short, true, and worth writing down tonight. So from today, don't blame your brain for forgetting. Blame your focus for being absent and train it back to strength. Attention is the beginning of all learning. And once you master it, every part of your life becomes easier to remember. Now that your focus is awake, let's talk about the next secret your teachers never told you. Your brain speaks in pictures. Your mind doesn't think in words. It thinks in images, shapes, colors, emotions, and stories that bring information to life. When I say elephant, you don't see letters. You see a giant gray animal walking slowly with flapping ears and a long trunk. That's proof your brain loves visuals, not text. So if you want to remember anything, turn words into living pictures. For example, you meet a girl named Lily. Don't just repeat Lily, Lily, Lily. Imagine her holding a bouquet of white lilies. That single image connects name and meaning instantly, making your brain say, "Oh, this is beautiful. Let's keep it." The more colorful or strange the picture, the stronger the memory. Because the brain loves emotion and surprise together. Want to remember the word volcano? Don't just imagine a mountain. Imagine a cake exploding with hot chocolate lava. Add sound, smell, and exaggeration. Imagine the boom, the sweetness burning, the laughter. It sounds silly, but that's why it works. Because memory is emotion in motion. It remembers what feels alive, not what feels ordinary or flat on a page. Now let's apply this to English. When you learn the word freedom, don't just translate it. Visualize standing on a windy beach. Feel the air, the space, the sunlight. Whisper freedom, and your brain will store it forever. Because now, it means something. Visualization turns lifeless vocabulary into emotional experiences, the kind your brain never deletes or confuses again. So from today, don't just read, see, don't just hear, feel, don't just memorize, experience. That's the language your memory speaks. You've now learned 3 pillars. Understand memory, master attention, and visualize. You're no longer a passive learner. You're awakening. In the next chapter, we'll take it higher. How to use stories to glue information together forever inside your powerful growing mind. Your brain doesn't like random lists. It loves stories because stories give meaning, emotion, and connection to everything you try to remember. Let's test this right now. If I give you a boring list of 10 words, you'll probably forget most of them in minutes. Here's the list: apple, horse, jacket, candle, ice cream, cloud, socks, chair, tree, monkey. Simple words, but disconnected and forgettable. Now instead of memorizing, let's build a small, funny story. The way your brain naturally stores and recalls information with ease. A giant apple falls from the sky and hits a horse on the head, making him run wildly into a nearby shop. Inside the shop, the horse steals a bright red jacket and lights a candle to see better in the dark corner. The candle melts an ice cream cone, which explodes into a big fluffy cloud that rains colorful socks everywhere around. One sock lands on a chair, which magically grows into a tall tree, and from the tree, a laughing monkey appears, smiling. Now close your eyes and repeat the story once in your head, from the apple to the monkey. Without forcing yourself, you'll notice you can recall everything easily because your brain loves connection, motion, and emotion. It remembers through experience, not logic. That's why actors remember long scripts and speakers recall hours of content because they see it as scenes, not lists. When learning English, do the same. Connect new words through short stories instead of memorizing isolated vocabulary you'll forget tomorrow. For example, if you want to remember the words rain, coffee, and book, create a mini scene that feels alive to you. You sit by the window, rain falls softly while you drink coffee and read your favorite English book. Your brain stores that effortlessly because now it's personal. It belongs to your life, not just your notebook. The story connects language to emotion instantly. Remember this: stories are not just for children. They are the brain's most powerful learning machine since the beginning of time. So from now on, don't just learn words. Create and do stories. Don't just remember, imagine, and watch your English become unforgettable. Now let's talk about something even deeper: how to make your brain save information automatically using a powerful science principle. It's called repetition, and it's the method that transforms temporary learning into lifelong memory through timing, rhythm, and review. Imagine your memory as writing in sand. If you never review, the waves of time will erase everything you worked hard to learn. But if you revisit what you've learned after 1 hour, then 1 day, 2 days, a week, 2 weeks, it carves the memory in stone. That's spaced repetition. Learn, rest, review, repeat. Each review tells your brain, this is important, until it becomes unshakable knowledge. For English, this means stop cramming hundreds of words once. Instead, learn 10, review daily, then weekly. Watch them stay forever. Let's say today you learn the word serendipity. You use it in a sentence. Write it, say it, and feel proud of remembering it. Tomorrow, review it again. 2 days later, use it in a text. After 1 week, teach it to someone. It becomes part of your memory because the brain doesn't reward effort. It rewards repetition. What returns repeatedly becomes identity. And identity never forgets. If you master spaced repetition, you'll never say, I forgot that word again, because forgetting will no longer control you. Now let's talk about emotion, the most powerful glue that holds memory together and makes every lesson alive forever. Think about your life. You don't remember every meal you ate, but you remember heartbreaks, victories, and moments that moved your soul deeply. That's because emotion activates the amygdala, the brain's save button. When something makes you feel, your brain marks it as permanent. So if you want to remember something deeply, attach a feeling to it. Without emotion, information fades like smoke in the wind. You can read one sentence 10 times and forget it tomorrow. But one sentence that made you cry, you'll remember for years. Let's test this. April 15th, 1912, the day the Titanic sank. Thousands died. Musicians kept playing. Families said their last goodbyes. Now it's not just a date, it's a story. A feeling. A human memory that stays with you because your heart was involved. The same rule applies to English learning. Don't just translate. Feel the word. Make it real. Emotional. And connected to your story. Take the word abandon. Don't memorize to leave. Remember a moment someone left, or when you let go of something precious. You'll never forget it. Or hope. Don't just read the definition. Think of a time you refused to give up. That's the emotion your brain understands, even if a topic feels boring. Create emotion. Pretend. Exaggerate. Imagine, because even fake emotion works better than no emotion. Emotion turns lessons into memories, words into feelings, and knowledge into wisdom. Feel your learning, and your mind will never forget it. Now let's move to one of the most powerful steps ever discovered in memory training: teaching what you learn. The moment you teach something, you remember it twice. Once when you learn it, and again when you explain it from your own mind. When you teach, you transform from a receiver into a creator. You stop being just a learner. You become a master of your thoughts. It forces your brain to organize information, express it clearly, and rebuild knowledge from within, making it unshakably strong. Let's say today you learn the English word procrastinate. You understand it means delaying something you know you should do. If you tell your friend, "I procrastinate cleaning my room," your brain says, "This is real." And the word stays forever. That's why students who teach others perform far better. They don't just learn for themselves. They learn to explain and apply. So after every video, lesson or new word, teach it immediately. To a friend, your mirror, or even your notebook aloud. Because the act of teaching is memory practice disguised as sharing. It strengthens your mind and your English at once. When you teach, you learn twice. Once for yourself, and once for your future self who remembers with ease and confidence. Now let's talk about something legendary: the mind palace. A technique used by ancient philosophers and modern memory champions alike. Your brain naturally remembers locations better than random data. That's why you can still picture your childhood home clearly after years. You remember the color of the walls, the smell of the kitchen, the placement of furniture, all because your brain loves space and order. A mind palace uses this gift by turning your familiar places into storage rooms for your memories and knowledge. Here's how to build one. Choose a place you know well: your house, school, or favorite cafe, somewhere you can walk through in your imagination. Now assign information to each location, linking what you want to remember with something visual and emotional in that space. For example, to remember the planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Turn your house into a memory museum. In your living room, a pan of boiling silver: Mercury. In the kitchen, a perfume bottle: Venus. In the bathroom, a spinning globe: Earth. On your bed, red dust everywhere: Mars. On your balcony, a giant balloon bouncing: Jupiter. On the stairs, glowing rings: Saturn. Outside your door, an ice cube melting: Uranus. By the gate, waves crashing: Neptune. Now you can recall all planets instantly, because when knowledge lives inside space, it becomes easier to visit. Your brain loves walking through familiar places filled with meaning. You can create an English mind palace too. Each room stores new vocabulary by topic: food in the kitchen, emotions in the bedroom. Walk through it mentally once a day. Review what's inside, and you'll be amazed at how long everything stays clear. The more strange, colorful, or emotional your images are, the stronger they stick. So don't fear creativity. Embrace it fully. Your mind deserves order, and your imagination provides it. With practice, you'll never lose what you truly want to keep. So now you've learned the power of story, repetition, emotion, teaching, and the mind palace, all ways to turn learning into mastery. In the final part, we'll unlock the last secrets: night review, writing, active recall, and mental protection to make your memory unstoppable. Night is not just for rest. It's when your brain decides what stays, what fades, and what becomes permanent inside your memory. Most people waste those final 10 minutes before sleep scrolling through noise, giving their brain the wrong signal of what matters. Your mind doesn't know your goals. It only knows what you focus on. And what you focus on last becomes tomorrow's memory. So instead of endless reels and distractions, spend 5 quiet minutes before bed reviewing what truly matters to your learning. Repeat the words. Visualize the lessons. Whisper them softly. Feel proud of what you learned. Then, let your brain do the saving. Because during sleep, your mind organizes everything, deciding which thoughts to keep and which ones to delete forever without mercy. If you feed it the right material before sleep, it will protect that knowledge like treasure, storing it safely inside your long-term memory. So tonight, before you close your eyes, take your notebook, read I made the English sentences you learned, and say them out loud once. It takes 1 minute, but that minute is the difference between forgetting tomorrow and remembering forever with confidence. Night review is effortless yet powerful. It uses nature's own rhythm to reinforce learning, peace, and discipline without pressure. This is your secret weapon. No extra time, no effort, only awareness and intention before your body rests for the night. Now let's talk about writing, the most underrated superpower for learning, thinking, and memory that most people ignore completely. Writing is not decoration. It's how your brain presses save. When you write by hand, your mind says, "This is important." Typing is fast but forgettable. Writing is slow but permanent because it forces your brain to feel, structure, and understand deeply. When you write, you don't just repeat information, you own it, you build it, you make it part of your story forever. Let's say you learn the word resilience. Don't just read it, write it down, define it, create a sentence, and connect it to your life. For example, after losing his job, he didn't give up. His resilience helped him start again. Feel it, write it, believe it. Add 1 line more. I want to become more resilient too. Now it's not just vocabulary, it's transformation written by your hand. That's why handwritten notes build stronger neural paths. Each letter becomes an anchor your brain recognizes and stores for years. Your notebook is not paper. It's a personal library of your growth, your proof of learning, and your bridge between thought and action. So write daily, even 1 English sentence with meaning, and watch your focus, creativity, and clarity bloom stronger each week. Now let's move to another game-changing method called active recall, the practice that separates knowing from truly remembering forever. Most people read, understand, and think they remember. But real memory begins only when you try to recall without looking again. Active recall means closing your book and asking, "Can I explain this?" Forcing your brain to pull information from deep inside. That active retrieval is mental exercise. Each attempt strengthens memory, just like lifting weights strengthens your physical body. For example, after watching this video, pause and ask yourself, what were the 3 main steps I remember right now? Don't worry if you forget some. It's in the struggle that your brain builds power. That's where growth and mastery truly happen. Every time you recall, you're sculpting memory. Every test is training. Every attempt is progress, even if imperfect. So next time you read or listen, don't just nod, close it, explain it aloud, or write what you recall. Activate your learning. Because passive learning creates illusion, active recall creates strength. What you rebuild becomes yours forever without fear of forgetting. Now let's talk about something modern life rarely mentions: the need to protect your mind from overload and digital exhaustion. Your brain is not designed to handle endless streams of meaningless information. It's meant to focus on what truly matters. Right now, most people's minds are full of noise, scrolls, updates, opinions. So much clutter, there's no room left for memory. You're not forgetting because you're lazy. You're forgetting because your brain is drowning in junk and has no space left. Your mind is like a glass of water. If you keep pouring without emptying, it overflows, wasting the clarity you need to think. Every morning, before touching your phone, spend 5 minutes in silence. Breathe. Stretch. Feel your mind wake up clean and calm. Protect your focus by muting noise, unfollowing distractions, and choosing only content that builds you, not buries you. Not every message deserves a reply. Not every video deserves your time. Not every thought deserves space in your head. Write in your journal daily. Empty your mind of useless thoughts, and you'll instantly feel lighter, clearer, and more alive. Try 1 hour each day without your phone. You'll discover silence isn't empty. It's full of answers your busy mind can't hear. Your brain is sacred space, not a trash bin. Protect it like your home, because random content shouldn't live rent-free inside you. You can't have focus, creativity, or peace if your mind is flooded. Clarity requires boundaries, and boundaries create freedom. The truth is, memory is not about adding more. It's about removing noise so what matters finally has room to grow. So from now on, treat your mental space with respect. Be intentional, selective, and disciplined about what enters your awareness. This final principle is not optional. It's survival for your focus, your learning, and your future self that deserves peace. Now let's bring everything together. 12 steps that make you unstoppable in learning, memory, and English mastery combined. You've learned to understand memory, control attention, visualize, build stories, repeat smartly, and connect emotion with every word you learn. You've practiced teaching, building a mind palace, reviewing before sleep, writing deeply, recalling actively, and protecting your mental world. That's not just learning, it's transformation. You're no longer forgetting easily. You're remembering what truly matters with purpose and pride. Because this system isn't magic. It's discipline, awareness, and emotion working together to build a stronger, sharper version of you. So as you move forward, don't just know these steps. Live them, breathe them, use them daily until they become part of who you are. When you read, see pictures. When you learn, feel emotion. When you grow, teach someone. When you rest, review with intention. Every day is a chance to strengthen your mind, improve your English, and align your thoughts with the person you're becoming. You are not broken. You were only untrained. But now you have a system. And systems always win where talent fades. So remember this: knowledge isn't power. Applied knowledge is. Use it, speak it, write it, share it, and you'll never lose it again. Your memory is not a storage box. It's a living muscle that grows every time you train it with focus and meaning. And your English isn't just words. It's a mirror of your thoughts, your clarity, and your connection to the world around you. So from this day forward, train both together, your memory and your English, your discipline and your dreams, your mind and your heart. Because the more you remember, the more you understand, the more you understand, the more confident and fluent you become in every way. You now hold the tools of focus, visualization, repetition, and purpose. 12 keys to unlock the unlimited power inside your brain. This is your moment. Trust your mind again. Believe in your learning power. And never underestimate what you're truly capable of. You're not just someone who remembers. You're someone who learns deeply, speaks clearly, and grows fearlessly in every part of life. If this message touched you, share it, subscribe, and keep walking with us. Because Soulful English is more than a channel, it's a movement. Together, we don't just learn English, we build the strongest, clearest, most unforgettable version of ourselves. One word at a time. Your mind is ready, your English is growing. Let's make both unforgettable, starting right now.